Well, at the end of the day, humans are driven by fear and greed, right? And the greed aspect is very powerful. The fear part is probably more powerful. And so the number go up part of it is really probably one of the most important aspects, and it's how everyone comes in. I know there's a lot of people talk about, people come from number go up and they stay for the freedom. And there's no other way because at the end of the day, trying to educate people about, hey, this is money that can't be stolen from you, or hey, it's got 21 million, or can't be any more, and it's permissionless, trustless. I mean, most people are not going to gravitate to that. That's just not how humans think, they work. So the number go up aspect, just by the very fact that it is capped at 21 million and it is finite. So therefore, the more printing there is, ironically, the price goes higher. That is a self-reinforcing loop. And that's how people come into this. And again, if you have Canadian trucker events or the Dutch farmers or these bad black swan events happen, then yes, people are going to come in that way too through fear, or wars are happening and then people are moving and walking to another country with their seed phrase in their head. Those are incredible stories, and those do orange pill people. But the quickest, fastest, easiest way, really within the Western world, is making people talk about Bitcoin all the time, and the number go up is that aspect that keeps it on people's lips. When you have Wall Street being outperformed and hedge fund managers all the time, year after year buy Bitcoin, well, guess what? I mean, politics, wealth management, all these things are driven by culture. They're downstream from culture. And so culture is what demands this. And if the average person is seeing, hey, why do I keep losing against this Bitcoin thing? Or why is the price of Bitcoin keep going up? And you told me I didn't need this. Or, hey, politician, why aren't you advocating for this? Yeah, I heard over here that it could, help. So or the price of Bitcoin, I should say, is what is driving that sentiment and what wakes people up out of their stupor, quite honestly. And it wakes people up to saying, hey, I could have, because that's why, again, we talked about altcoins and in the meme coins and all. That's why people jump into those. It's because I'm at the casino, I'm gambling, I might get a big win. Now that's a whole another story for a different day. A lot of people are addicted to losing and gambling and going to casino. That's why casinos are filled. But at the same time, end of the empire type sentiment where you have people that are trying to go get a big payday because they can't afford their daily bills. So they're forced out the risk curve. So again, price is interlinked and intertwined as part of all that. And that's the biggest driver of people continually seeing that Bitcoin's price continues to go up, despite what the media says, despite what past administrations have said, despite what their uncle has said, despite what anyone has told you. Oh, by the way, this thing just keeps going up and it keeps eating your lunch and you can't ignore it any longer. So I think it is very important. And that's why the Overton window being shaped by, again, this is kind of the theme of the show a little bit. Money is psychological. Inflation is psychological. Hyperinflation is psychological. So if you have people moving that Overton window and showing people the path and saying, hey, this is what's going to happen, well, it comes to fruition. You manifest it into existence. So we have the properties and we have the foundation of what it can actually withstand those predictions. Doesn't mean they're going to happen tomorrow, but they will over time, because the education, the narrative will then feed, again, the self-reinforcing loop. It feeds the price, and this will just continue as more people come in. They get more interested in Bitcoin. They get educated in Bitcoin. Will some people get wrecked? Of course, many of us have got wrecked over the years, but then you get back up on the horse and you say, what did I do wrong? What happened? And those people are the ones that will continue to drive and be added to the group and push Bitcoin forward in the future.
Yeah, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised, right? Like, we live in this world of big media where headlines, it's all about the headlines, about what grabs people's attention. And big numbers is the most effective way to get people's attention beyond anything else. But with that being said, we have great educators in the space like yourself that are teaching people Bitcoin is so much more than just number go up. It's about self-sovereignty, about protecting your wealth. For our audience in there, I'm sure we always have a couple people trickling in that are new to this space. What would you say are some of the most important benefits of Bitcoin outside of just big price action? What would like some of the big ones be in your opinion?
So the big ones for me were self-custody, truly, like understanding you can hold the keys to your Bitcoin and custody the asset in your mind. I mean, that was just unbelievable. That was literally mind-blowing for me, for lack of a better phrase. And that right there, coming from a real estate background and seeing, you don't own your real estate, your government owns it. And you see what happens if you don't pay your property taxes. And it's hard to get up and move to another country when my real estate is here, my home, my apartments, my rental properties, my self-storage complex. That's very hard. And is that a dystopian future in a way where you were thinking about those scenarios? Well, It is to a degree, except we just lived through the last 5 years. I mean, if you can't, again, zoom out, and that's where a lot of Bitcoiners nowadays are people that can zoom out very well. They see patterns very well, and we can see directionally we're going away of more authoritarian governments all across the world. So it's just people putting their stake in the ground and saying, "Hey, I know which direction we're going." It's just like the price of Bitcoin. I know which direction it's going, continues to go up, but it has to keep going up. That's kind of like governments. I mean, governments have to keep taking more power in a debt-based system. They have to keep taking more people's rights and et cetera, and doing things to take things from the people. Otherwise, you get too educated. You're too smart as to what's going on. This is why we see privacy under attack. When we see all these different things going on, it's because governments, really by just their inherent, uh, just that by them existing, it's what the founding fathers of America knew, and this is why they tried to limit government so much. Is because all of human history, it goes down the same exact path, and we're just repeating these things over and over and over again. So I think the custody aspect is probably the number one thing for me, where you can now, and it has so many ramifications. Now your government has to treat you better because they can't just go and steal your assets.
Right.
They have to negotiate with you. You can walk, to another country. You can, you're a safe, it defunds, again, people say it defunds war, but it's, why are war fought? It's over energy, it's over resources, their gold, you name it, their oil. But if your money now is what you're storing is now in the ether, I can't just go beat you over the head and take your assets. And so now we have to fight on a different playing field. You can't literally be on the field anymore. You have to fight in a different realm. So anyway, all that being said, I think that the custody aspect is really, to me, the most important part, because it really wakes you up to realizing, well, this is the only thing I own. I don't own my life insurance. I don't own my stocks. I don't own my real estate. I don't really, maybe you can, maybe own your own business type of thing. You're still, again, linked to the government in the sense that, the IRS here in America, taxes, all these different things, right? You are attached to them. And Bitcoin is the one thing that they can't control, and they have to bend the knee to the people that have their Bitcoin in self custody.